Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. And today we're going to be talking about what monsters to look for in your selective summons and give you a better understanding as to why those units are what you want to be looking for, because that's the number of question I've been getting asked on my stream, twitch.tv/Claytano, is what monster to go for on my selective summons. So to get right into it, the selective summon is available after you get to your main character level 7, which is right after the Goblin Town quest. You'll get a couple other scrolls in the meantime leading up to it, so just keeping in mind that those mystical summons aren't your selective summons, and you'll actually get like a scroll after that quest that is your selective summon. So one of the nice things about this, before we get into all the different monsters that you'll be looking for, is that my personal opinion is that this is one of the most well done reroll systems in a game that I've actually seen in ever. I think it's really well done because you get a chance to summon 10 scrolls 30 times. You can pick whether you want to keep it or move past it. And if you get down to 0 times, you don't have to create a new account to get 30 more chances at it. You can actually just reset it, go do a quest, come back, have 30 more tries, and keep doing it until you get the unit that you're looking for. So with that being said, you definitely want to look for a nat 5. You don't want to be settling for 4 stars that you think are good because they're on some tier list as S tier and you get 2 of them, because for one, 5 stars of course are hard to come by in this game, so you definitely want to go for the 1 5-star that you're looking for. And then for 2, you'll actually get a 4-star selective summon essentially later on. It's not a selective summon, but you can actually just pick whatever 4-star that you want, and you can kind of balance out your team with that choice. So one of the things that I want to kind of bring up is that the monster that you're looking for needs to be a well-rounded unit in your team. And your main character that you choose is part of that team. There's 3 main classes essentially, with tanks, support, and damage dealers, just like the main character that you choose. Kina is a support. You have Orbia, which is a damage dealer, and then you have Cleef, which is the tank, right? And so it's the same thing with your team when you're building it. You don't necessarily want to have all tanks. You don't necessarily want to have all supports. And then there's some situations where having 4 damage dealers is nice, but for the most part, you're going to want to have a well-rounded team, especially starting out early on. It's going to help you out way better having a well-rounded team versus having all of one style of unit. So with that in mind, for this account specifically, on my main account, I went with Orbia as my main character. This account, to show you guys, I actually went with Kina, which is the support unit. So for me, I'm going to be wanting to look for either a tank or a damage dealer to help balance out my main character. The other thing that you guys want to keep in mind as well is that for the pass, if you guys did want to actually purchase the Summoner Pass premium pass, you get Vanessa for free. Vanessa's a tank, and so if you are planning on doing that, you can use her as your tank and then get a damage dealer and support through your selective summon. The other thing to think about as well is if you're going to be going for a Water Ifrit, which it's kind of behind my camera, but it takes 200 summons to get a Water Ifrit, guaranteed. And for the most part, you'll get 200 summons while playing through the game through your campaign mode, free to play. So if you did go that route and you were able to do it within 12 days of when this video is going live, then that's your damage dealer, right? Water Ifrit is a great damage dealer, does a lot of damage to single targets as well, has a defense break, I believe. So it's super, super helpful if you guys kind of plan out your selective summon around what your plan is for either the Ifrit or Vanessa, because I mean, at that point, if I'm a support main character, I have all 3 of the classes accounted for. And then so for my 4th unit, I can go for something that's also more damage, maybe a little bit more sustain. I would say more damage for early on in the game. The other thing that you want to do is summon your mystical summons before you summon your selective summons. Obvious reasons, if you happen to get a nat 5 on these summons, you don't want to just get it with a selective summon, accept it, and then summon the same unit again on your mystical summon. It's not the end of the world. You can actually use it for like skill ups and stuff, and evolving, I think. So it's not the end of the world, but again, early on in the game, you want to have more units, more options versus potentially one unit that just has like some extra, boosted stats. So getting into it though, you guys want to make sure that you take a look at the probabilities before spending a whole lot of time going through these selective summons, because one of the things to note is that you cannot get light and dark units. So it's just your normal, fire, water, wind units that you can get. There's some tier lists out there as well that have like Varad and Zeros on them as S tier, but understand that if they're not on this summon rate table, you cannot get them. So don't keep summoning looking for a Zeros because it's not even in the game yet. It might be in the game on the Korean server, but for NA, it's not on here. EU is not out yet, but quick tip for all you EU players: if you download the game on a VPN, NordVPN is someone who I've partnered with in the past. You can actually play the game on the NA server, and you don't have to continue using the VPN. You can just play it off your normal internet after you download the game. The only caveat to that is you probably won't be able to bring your account over to EU, but at least you can play it for the time being, get a good understanding for how the game works, and you'll be far better off once the game does actually launch in EU. So anyway, going back to what monsters you're going to be looking for, again, it really depends on your main character and your setup and what you guys decide to do with the Vanessa and the Theomars. So for me, on my main account, I had Orbia as my main character. I figured I would get the Theomars, and I figured I'd get the Vanessa. And so the only thing that I did was, instead of getting a Lucian, I actually got my Camilla first. So Lucian's a good damage dealer, one of the best damage dealers in the game, S tier, really, really good. So if you're looking for a damage dealer, Lucian's probably your best bet. But for me, I landed on a Camilla beforehand, and I love Camilla. She's one of like my favorite units in the game from Sky Arena. So I went ahead and took the Camilla, and I figured I'd find, other damage dealers later on down the road. So if you're looking for a tank, Camilla's a really, really good option. If you're looking for a damage dealer, you have, Lucian, which is a really good option. Other units that are good options are ones that do damage over time. So you have your Bastet is a really good option. You have Fire Sylph is a really good option as well. Fire Vampire, really good option. So those are probably going to be your top tier units. Everything else, even like Galleon is S tier on that like tier list. You don't really want to settle for a Galleon right now. You want to get something that's going to help you progress through the game early on, because you are going to hit certain walls from power, like just your power, overall power, and you're going to want something that can actually like boost you through that part of the game. So keeping some of those things in mind. Of course, if you land on like a Wind Occult Girl, she's going to be a good damage dealer. So is Rika. She's going to be a good damage dealer. Polar Queens are good damage dealers, of course. If you want to support, you have Ariel, which is a great support. Velodual as well. They're not going to be your top tier units, but if you just like them, they're also good options. Like I almost went with a Velodual because I just love the Archangels. But for the most part, that's what you're looking for. I don't really need to make this video much longer than that. If you guys, so I also thought this was kind of funny that jack-o'-lanterns were 5 stars. But anyway, if you guys have some questions or want to talk through things, go ahead and leave comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you like this video, if it helped you out, definitely leave a like, subscribe, because I'll be making more content on Summoner's War Chronicles. But aside from that, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.